Let's now start with the very important theorem which says that spectrum of a bounded linear operator is non-empty. So the statement of this theorem, it says that if X is some non-zero complex Banach space and T is some bounded linear operator defined on this complex Banach space, then the spectrum of that operator is non-empty. So that means we say that there is at least one spectral value that is present into this spectrum set. So for that we assume that, as given in the theorem, that X is uh, not actually equal to 0. So now there are many possibilities for operator T, as we do not exactly know what this operator T is. So for that we say our operator T that is non-zero. If that operator is 0, so that means for the 0 operator we know the spectral values or the eigenvalues of this 0 operator are simply 0. So therefore the spectrum would contain only the 0 element. So therefore, because it contains 0 element, therefore it is non-empty in this case. In the second case, we assume that the operator T is not actually 0. Now this is for operator. This is the 0 operator. Then the norm of T is not equal to 0. This is 0 number. Why? Because we are equating it or we are comparing it with the norm. So this norm of T is not equal to 0. So for this thing, as we have proved in the theorem when we were trying to prove that resolvent set is non-empty, we have this result that resolvent of the operator corresponding to some lambda could be written as minus 1 by lambda summation j varies from 0 to infinity 1 by lambda t whole raised to power j, wherever this thing lies. That means whenever lambda belongs to this particular, whenever lambda belongs outside to this particular disk. So this convergence would be there whenever 1 by mod of lambda is strictly less than 1 by norm of t, and it converges absolutely whenever you have 1 by norm of lambda less than 1 by 2 times norm of t, right? So from here you have this condition on lambda, that it is the absolute value of this lambda, it is greater than 2 times norm of t. So therefore you may write your, from here, from this expression you may take norm on both sides. So it would be r lambda norm that is strictly less than equal to 1 by, so what is this, what is the norm of this? So it would be 1 by lambda times summation norm of 1 by lambda into t raised to power j. Why this is so? Why this is less than equal to? Because you know this inequality, norm of x plus y, that is less than equal to norm of x plus norm of y, and here we have infinite terms in this sum. So the norm of this summation term, summation of say xi, would be less than equal to the summation of norm of xi. So using this result, this property, we have this less than equal to sign over here. Now this thing is equal to this thing. Let's see how. So if you expand this term, so what would be this? If you open up this summation, so you have all the terms like this. So when you multiply 1 by mod of lambda here, so this would be this. So what is this? This is infinite GP, having the first term as 1 by modulus of lambda and the common ratio as norm of t divided by modulus of lambda, right? So what is the sum of this infinite series? It is given by a by 1 minus r. So in this case, and this sum exists whenever this r is less than 1. This is true in our case. Why? Because we have this condition. So according to this, we may write a by 1 minus r like this, solve it. So this is equal to 1 by modulus of lambda minus norm of t. So this expression is there, which in the convergent terms is written like this. And because we have the modulus of 1 by lambda the modulus of lambda greater than equal to 2 by norm of t. So what would be the modulus of 1 by lambda? It would be less than equal to 1 by 2 norm of t. So using this thing instead of 1 by norm of lambda, so here we may have this thing. We may have 1 divided by 2 norm of t minus norm of t, so it would be 1 by norm of t. So this is the condition. So from here you obtain that the norm of resolvent R lambda is less than equal to 1 by the norm of T. So therefore, we here wanted to prove that spectrum of the operator T is non-empty. So how we can prove that? We'll prove it using contradiction. So for that we assume, if possible, the spectrum is empty. If the spectrum is empty, then its complement would whole of the complex plane, right? Because they are disjoint sets which when combined, or whose union is whole of the complex plane. So in this case, because we are assuming the spectrum to be empty, therefore the resolvent is whole of the complex plane. So because the resolvent is whole of the complex plane, so we may say R lambda is holomorphic for all lambda, right? This is according to the definition of holomorphic operator. So therefore we say, for a fixed x belonging to the given space and f belonging to the dual of that space, the function h of lambda, which is f of h lambda x, is holomorphic on C. This is according to the definition of holomorphic function, right? So now because this is holomorphic on complete complex plane, therefore we may call this to be entire function. Why? Because entire function is the one which is analytical on whole of the complex plane. So this h is also an entire function here. Now all of you know that differentiability implies continuity, so therefore holomorphic nature of h implies continuity of h, and therefore we say h is continuous and thus bounded on the compact disk, this one, because of this relation. However, for the other terms here, for lambdas which are outside of this disk, we can also prove the boundedness. Let's see how. We have this thing from the above relation, that norm of R lambda is less than equal to 1 by norm of T. So using this result, we may use the prove the boundedness. So for that, what we consider the modulus of the this function h of lambda. So according to definition, this h of lambda is f of R lambda x, and what is this thing? This is less than equal to the norm of f norm of R lambda x according to the properties of norm, right? And then you may also write this to be like this, so that now if you apply the definition for this R lambda, the resolvent operator, it is 1 by T. So accordingly, you may have the norm of R lambda to be 1 by norm of T. This is less than equal to 1 by norm of T according to this relation, right? The norm of R lambda is less than the 1 by the norm of T. So using this relation, we have h lambda norm modulus less than this quantity. So from here we may say that h is bounded on this disk and outside this disk. So that means it is bounded on whole of the complex plane. If it is bounded on whole of the complex plane, it is continuous. So therefore, using the Lively's theorem, we say this h is constant. If this h is constant, so that means for an arbitrary h which is a constant, we have an R lambda which is the resolvent operator, and this R lambda now is independent of lambda because this h is constant. And if this is independent of lambda, that means the inverse operator is also independent of lambda. And what is the inverse operator of this? That would be t minus lambda I. So that would also be independent of lambda. But from here you see that this is not independent of lambda. So we have a contradiction to the assumption that the spectrum set is an empty set. Hence the spectrum set here is not empty, and this is what we were required to prove here.